Mladen, how often do you like how often the customers come back to you and say we want to have some changes in the Power BI reports, or is it like they're happy with the standard that you're providing, they're overwhelmed, or are they coming very often to say, okay, we want some
Very
change?
different, different from customer to customer. Some customers are, I would say, let's say quarter of the customers, I believe, don't change anything. And they just have some training and they just rearrange their Power BI reports, but on their own. So they
Mm.
don't come to us at all. Then some quarter of the customers uh, come and do some minor customization, which are done not in the Power BI itself, because the Power BI is drag and drop. We train them for that, so we don't do much of the help in the Power BI because it's presumed that Power BI or Excel is something that internal training would be for, not us. And what we do is we add some attributes or new measures in the model, which is then available in the Power BI. Even if customer says, can you change this in the Power BI? We know that they mean in BF Dynamics model. We don't argue. We just says, yeah, we will add you this measure to the Power BI. No worries, right? We just need to have explanation. Then another quarter of the customer is intense in requirements, and another quarter is doing these things by themselves. So it's like very diverse who does these things. Sometimes we have customer which they know everything about data warehouse. They have spent, hours or days or months working on data warehouse. When they see how our code is being generated, they are covered. They just during the installation or during presentation, they know everything. They do data warehouse development without spending 1 hour of services. Believe me. And some of them are just outsource everything to us because they don't have a manpower, the IT team is small, or they don't have resources for that. So that is very different here. And yeah, it's very different, really different. So we fit into any situation. It doesn't matter whether a customer would be better if we would spend more time or less time. Of course, we like to do services because that's the revenue. But sometimes it's a problem depending on the market, especially how the perception of the customer services is. Sometimes customers are not prepared in articulating what they want. We spend time, we do the iterations, can happen, so we are not efficient. Sometimes they just say they want, we deliver, and that's it. It's like services.
Right. Okay. And you had mentioned when we were on the inventory report that there was a bucket of the aging, and it had to be customized for one of the clients. So you did the changes at the BI for Dynamics side, right?
We will do it, but I can show you where would this be done. So this would be done in the view.
Ah, okay.
So here in the view, so let me just explain you this exercise here. And I will intentionally not do it in the SQL because that's a text editor only. So first what we have here is table inventory aging, has ID and has group and subgroup. Okay, so we are not going to change the structure, which means we have two levels. Remember, this is 100 days, more than 100 days to a year, and the sub details are buckets below there. And this is defined here. Actually, we have defined the buckets here for the higher level. And for the loading part, let me just think here. This is the loading part. It's a create table. Let me just see. This is where we do the inserts. It's a very little specific. So if customer would like to have different buckets than this, then we would need to edit this part here as a text editor. It just has to be union of all the records, and each record comes with this value. Okay.
But
so
if you
this is,
redeploy, this will be overwritten, right?
yes, of course.
Okay.
So we would create a new version and, put this right. So it's a text editor part here. So the beginning and ending must be done it's all done on a daily level. That's a primary key. So begin and end, and then you have to do a text for a level 1 and text for level 2.
Okay.
It's not Excel table, which you would, prefer as columns. And actually you can also do this if you would be wanting to. You can do it in Excel and, edit it and save it with the text. That is what I would do if there'll be a lot of changes here.